Welcome back once again, friends. Let us continue our journey into the world of turtle graphics. Let us see how we can get our turtle to draw circles, semicircles, and arcs. Now, arc is basically part of a circle. Now, it turns out that for all of this, we have to use the t.circle method, and we are going to talk about this in this video. Before I get started with the code, however, I want to give you a feel for how this thing works so that the code becomes somewhat easier. So what happens really is that the way we draw a circle with turtle is that we get turtle to move and turn at the same time. So for example, we say initially set the direction horizontal, we make it move a little bit, turn a little bit, move a little bit, turn a little bit. So turtle draws a circle by moving forward a bit and turning a bit, moving forward a bit more and turning again and so on until the entire circle is created, right? Now similarly, the turtle could point upward in the beginning. It may move, move and turn. It may, for example, here also move and turn, right? Which means that in order to draw a circle, we need to do three things. We need to say set the starting xy coordinate. So we need to use go to statement to say where we want to get the circle drawn. We want to set the initial direction. For example, here the direction is horizontal, here the direction is upward in both these cases. We also want to specify the radius. Radius controls how large the circle is. Radius is basically the distance from the center to the boundary or the say the circumference of the circle. So we want to control all these three. Now it turns out that just take this example. If I have my sprite pointing up, my turtle pointing upwards, whether it turns leftwards or say anti-clockwise or it turns rightwards or say clockwise depends on whether my radius is positive or negative. So positive radius makes it go counterclockwise, which is say against the clock's motion like this. Negative radius makes it go clockwise, for example, in this way. Now, how do I do all of this? Well, we know how to set the initial x and y coordinate. We can use the go to method. We have seen that before. How do I set the direction? For that purpose, I can use this command called t.setheading. Now, I'm just going to use a compare and contrast over here. The equivalent block in Scratch would be point and direction. However, the way directions are defined is a little bit different. In Scratch, for example, 0 used to be upwards and 90 used to be forward, right? In Turtle, in the standard mode, which is what we have 0 forward and 90 upwards, right? So we just have to keep this in mind that upward direction is 90. And really, if we know that, then it kind of just follows from here, right? So this is what Turtle is. Also, let's just briefly look at it very closely in code so that we understand what exactly is going on underneath. Basically, Turtle is drawing a circle, like I said, by moving forward a little bit and turning. It is kind of like, what we had done in Scratch to draw circles. There's a video I've put in here. You can take a look at that. Basically, I repeat 360 times. I move one step and turn 1 degree. In this case, it's turning clockwise, but there's also a provision to go anti-clockwise. Also, as we'll see a little later, there are provisions to draw only parts of the circle, right? So with all this prelude, let's go back to the turtle program that we had. Uh, okay. So let's go back to this particular program. Now here I'm going to remember we're drawing a circle, so I'm going to drawing a square. I'm going to get my turtle to now draw a few circles, but for that purpose, I'm going to say, hey turtle, please go to say 0, 0. However, before I do that, I must do t dot pen up because otherwise I'll end up drawing a line while I go from this point, which is the end of this code, to the 0 0. So I go to 0 0. Now notice I'm going to draw a single circle, and the way I'm going to draw is that I want to set my turtle looking upwards first, right? So I'm going to say t dot set heading 90. Let's just run this code and see what happens. So that we get a feel for what's going on, right? So if I run this code, notice it first draws a square. I have set the speed to 0, which means it's happening instantly. So it's drawn a square, and now notice my turtle is indeed pointing upwards, right? Now you can also use turtle shape turtle if that's easier for you, but it's equally good to have this classic shape which is pointing upwards. Now that it's set up, the heading is set up, it's pointing upwards. I can say t dot circle, say 35. 35 is just a number, but importantly 35 is a positive number, which means that I expect the circle to be drawn in a counterclockwise direction. I want it to, expect it to be drawn sort of over here. Let's see what happens if I run this. Uh, okay, so I've made a mistake. I must do pen down, otherwise t dot pen down. If I did this, then see what happens here. I do get a circle as I had thought, right? Now let's imagine drawing a circle in the other direction, and let's see what happens if I give, let's say, more arguments to it, right? So let's say I come in here and I say, hey, look, t dot circle. So my original point is still remaining 0 0 because I've completed the circle just now, but I now say t dot circle, say minus 35, but this time round I do not want the entire circle to be drawn. I want only a part of the circle to be drawn, so I'm just going to say just to 120. Now, for those of you who know angles, you will realize that 360 degrees make a complete circle. By saying 120, I'm telling the turtle to draw me only one third of the circle, which is like an arc. Part of the circle is called an arc. So I'm going to, if I did this code, I'm going to end up with the first circle here, but notice the next circle is going the other direction. Also, it did not complete, and right now my heading is somewhat, in this direction. So I can in fact go and do one more command over here. I can go and say t dot circle, and let's say I go and say, in this time I'm going to say for example 20 and 180, right? So now this time round I expect my heading is in this direction, whatever it is. I expect a semicircle to be drawn in counterclockwise direction, because notice 20 is positive, so I expect this to be drawn, for example, something like this, and it's going to be half a circle, a semicircle, because I'm giving 180. Remember, 360 would have done a complete circle, 180 should do exactly half a circle, right? So if I indeed do this, I expect that, and let's see what happens. Indeed, exactly what I thought would happen. So I got one circle here from the first command. Next I got, let's say, one third of a circle. I did not change the heading, I just went and drew a half circle on top of that, right? So this is how we use it. The important bits are the radius, like I said, and the extent, which is like this 120, 180. If you don't do anything, it completes the full circle, right? So if you get, if you want to draw like a part of a circle, just give, let's say, 180 for half a circle, 90 for a quarter circle, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.